Hey folks, Kevin here. Well, it's January 30th, 2018, and it's snowing outside. We're in the middle of winter about this time. The day length is starting to get a little bit longer, but it's still not much that I can do outside at this time. And I don't have to snow blow just yet. There isn't that much accumulation yet today, just a few inches. So I thought I'd create a relatively short video going over the topic of food storage. And I think this is a really important topic to demonstrate how each of us could become more and more resilient, being able to deal with events that happen in life. Whether it's a power outage, a fire. Recently out west, there was a forest fire followed by mudslides, which took out power, took out water systems, took out their gas supply, and three things, especially in the wintertime. You have to have food, you have to have access to good water, and you've got to have shelter from the severe elements. So if you're going through everything and you've got, one freezer full, one refrigerator full, and it's all in your house and something happens to that house, or the power goes out and you don't have a generator, I can give a whole list of possibilities, but you think about your location and what are the events that are most likely to happen. And I'm not talking about World War III or EMP or those sorts of things. I'm talking about those things that are real, that do happen. Things that happen you see on the news regularly. You might be in an area where hurricanes are, flooding occurs, earthquakes occur, ice storms occur, tornadoes occur, so on and so forth. We're at the base of a hill where a mudslide could happen. Or ice dams. In this area, we're having people's homes destroyed because of ice dams. In this area, this time of year, it's not uncommon that we have people's roofs collapse because of the exceptionally high the tremendous amount of weight on their homes or their buildings. So those are all things to think about. Think about what can potentially happen. And as far as where I place us in the process, because you're going to see some things in this little video that I shot today. It's by no means a complete picture of what we're doing. There's many of the products that we make that I'm not even bothering to show. Mostly I'm showing how we're dealing with perishable food items and all. And so let me see, was there anything else that I wanted to do? So where would I'm sorry, I didn't finish that statement. Where would I say we're at? I think that from a design perspective, and I'm pretty anal retentive about constantly going back and revisiting my system and how well the systems that we've put in place are working, really analyzing them, being very critical about them and seeing which ways we can improve. I'd say we've transitioned from our infancy through our adolescence and through our awkward teenage areas, but we're just basically heading into our young adult. We aren't at a mature state, and we aren't at the elder, the really wise state where we've anticipated everything and our systems work perfectly. And we may never reach that level, but I'm one of those guys that really likes to constantly revisit, retweak the systems. So already this year I know a lot of things I want to tweak for next year, especially with labeling and organizing and all. So we'll take you through some things that we have. I'm not going to go through the kitchen cupboards or I'm just going to go through some of the shelving units that we have inside the house, take you through our refrigeration and freezers. We have 5 freezers, 4 refrigerator freezers. I'm only going to show you one of the refrigerator freezers. We still have a couple more. I'm not going to show you our cool storage because I didn't shoot that area, but I'll show you our root cellar with a cold storage as well. So let's get to the presentation. Food storage. It's constantly evolving system. So what sort of things are we storing in our food storage systems? So things that come from our food forest, the various fruit trees, and there's a whole variety of fruit trees that we have. I think we have over 50 different cultivars of apple trees, several different types of peach trees, nectarines, apricots, several plums, different varieties of plums, cherries, pluots, aprums, and what else do we have out there as far as fruit trees? Mulberry trees. And then we get to various nut trees that we have. We're growing almonds, pecans, chestnuts, walnuts, hazelnut bushes, pecans, and I don't want to repeat them, butternuts, and acorns. Few of which we've harvested thus far because our forest is still relatively young. Seeds, a variety of different seeds, including seeds from sunflowers as well. However, that takes so much time. We really haven't been harvesting that many seeds thus far. Various berries, from strawberries to blueberries to currants to gooseberries to service berries and so on, and honeyberries and all, and sea berries. Some of which we're not going to continue with, like the sea berries. There are some challenges with those, and I won't go into those today. Our various root crops, whether it's horseradish or Jerusalem artichokes out there. Certainly in some of the areas we do at times harvest some of the garlic that's out there as well. The herbs, various herbs that we have in our food forests. And certainly many of our perennial crops, the Jerusalem artichokes or sunchokes, a horseradish, rose hips, mints, dandelion. I'm sure that there's a whole variety more. And the dandelion root, that seems to be a pretty popular one lately. The people that know us, because of the therapeutic use for lymphoma, we've had a pretty darn good success with cats getting lymphoma to resolve with dandelion root. And in the future, and we're working on this now, our market garden and our U-pick gardens, such as our berry patches and all. So whether it's we're talking about blueberries, the blackberries, the raspberries, those are all going to be U-pick gardens. And certainly we hope to provide services for market gardening in the future based on our really nutrient-dense fruit and vegetable products that we're growing on site. But most of the stuff that we're going to be seeing today are coming from our Zone 1 kitchen garden or vegetable garden, the herb garden, and we're certainly, I won't go into showing a lot of show hardly any of these, but tinctures, teas, salves, oils, extracts, dried products as well. And we do the wild crafting. I'm not going to show the soaps or the shampoos. Some cleaning products, not going to show the deodorants, the toothpaste, the pet products, but these are all things that increase your resilience and decrease your dependence on outside resources. Then of course you'll see some of the products that we're storing in-house that come from either like the Costco warehouse or the local grocery store, such as Aldi's, who do stock some decent products now. So what sort of food preservation are we doing? Well, we do freezing as small, let's say, small packages to large packages of single items. Those typically like our berry products. So go in and freeze sheets of various berries first and then put them into large bags is what we've done in the past, like 1 gallon bags. What we'll be doing in the future is putting them in sandwich bags first and then putting multiple sandwich bags into a 1 gallon bag. And we'll be using some metal shelves that I'll point out in the video, which really has increased our efficiency using freezers. It decreases energy costs. We get more food in the freezer, and there's less defrosting that has to be done with the freezers. Dehydration of herbs, fruits, and vegetables. Canning. So we're doing fruits and vegetables, whether it's peaches or apples, or various vegetables such as corn or garlic scapes or whatever it may be. And then we do our products such as our soups, our salsas, our chilies, our jams, our apple butter, and so on. Those are the ones I could think of today to jot down. And then the fermenting veggies, water kefir, kombucha. We aren't currently doing the kombucha right now. And then the cold storage, having some high moisture items and low moisture items. And then we have cool storage as well, which I didn't go over to the building with the cool storage products where the sweet potatoes are stored now. So let's go and have a look at what we've got. So here we are in our den or dining room area, and we're looking at some of the dehydrated products that we've got on our shelves in here. And these are things, I'm not showing our kitchen cupboards or our kitchen, all of the refrigeration in the kitchen and all that. I just wanted to give you an idea. And we really do like using glass for storage of just about everything. We like the mason jars a great deal. We really like these little, I'm going to call them chalkboard, reusable sticky labels that we can put on all of the jars. And this isn't in storage, but we're always growing fresh microgreens on site. So we want to have the chlorophyll, and which has all the magnesium, and we certainly want the sulforaphane that we talked about. There's some of our mixed nuts. There's some of our kale chips. So those are ways that we store things just inside of the house. Now I'm going through the little utility rooms so we have, and we reuse these different bottles for various herbs and spices that we use at different times, and some of those came from Costco. Now we're going to go down some of the going by 4 of the freezers here, 1 refrigerator freezer, and going to take a look at one of our metal cabinets. So down there, there's garlic down there, dehydrated garlics, some of our flours, so apple butter, some peaches, some grapes. Here we got some jams, some more flours, some other jams from 2016. We've got some of our medium peppers there. We've got lots of blue potatoes. We got some applesauce, some salsa, various chilies down here, different chilies that we do, and some of those are 2016, some are 2017. Sorry about the delay in the video. I'm using my GoPro camera on its gimbal. There's some corn, some vegetable soups there, some more flours and rices and oats, and some other canned product, and some of the products we got from Aldi's there as well. Now I'm going to cruise over to one of the freezers, and this one, it's some of the newer ways that we're storing things, and notice those aluminum shelves in there. So we decrease the air in our kale. Those are kale up above. Here we've got lasagna meals that are put into 1-gallon bags. There's enough for the 2 of us in each one, and I really reduce space and the possibility of things slipping out of the freezer. And we found a way of using one of our grills to get all the air out of our bags when we're packing things such as our green leafy vegetables in the freezers as well. Helps to prolong them a bit longer. Now in this freezer, we've got some, I'm not sure which these meals are. There's a bag of broccoli there, broccoli crowns, or the florets. We keep harvesting broccoli over and over again. This is an example of a 1-gallon bag with about 8 sandwich bags of sliced carrots in there. Again, more lasagna there, lots of our veggie burgers. When we do the veggie burgers, geez, sometimes we're doing 150 pounds at one time. And so being ready if a freezer goes out or if there's a power goes out, this is our refrigerator that we use for cooling things off, getting things ready. It has our seeds, it has some of our nut milks, horseradish. We'll put the fermented products in there to store a bit longer. There's a freezer down in the bottom there as well that we keep. So there's some of the Zephyr squash. This is loaded with broccoli in this one. And we get to this freezer, what's in this one. So we got peppers and eggplants in here. So we do these as individual bags of various components that will end up going into making more veggie burgers, making more lasagnas, making more combination vegetables. And we know where all these vegetables came from. They're nutrient dense, products that we've grown on site beyond organically. And we've got to get better. We just ordered some magnetic chalkboards that go on the front of the freezers, and we'll see how well that works, so that we can keep better labeling, keep track of things, so we don't have to open a freezer to see what we've got in them. Here you can see there's 1 gallon bags of various berries, from currants to strawberries to blackberries, and then there's blackberry syrup that we've made, and now we're down into the cauliflowers, and we got more blackberries down there. And I can't talk as fast as I'm making the camera go by here. More burgers up in there. So again, the burgers are put in individual sandwich baggies, and then those are put into the 1 gallon bags. And we have our various rices and quinoa and various products that we use all the time. We got some organic sugar that we do use. We use reduced sugar in just about everything that we do. Very little cooking or baking, but some preserving we do use as sugars. Our nuts for all our cheeses that we make. Tia's gotten very good at making even our brick cheeses now. And so that's excellent. And then I forgot about the cabinet on the other side, so I missed that for a moment. So we're going to go out to the root cellar. And so we're going to go outside of the garage. And the snow's let up. That's the sun up there. You can actually point the camera right at the sun in our part of the country. I sped this up a bit. Those are 2 foot on center our electrical conduit, 1/2-inch conduit that I made into little poly low tunnels, and that's some of the curly kale that we'll be harvesting. The cats actually slide in here too during the winter months. So I'll close that up for a second. And there's Hank running around, my little buddy. So we're going to cruise out. We're going to go by. So we're passing by the bioremediation systems, going in between 2 ponds now. And we're entering the first food forest. And Darlene had asked, geez, about the food forest. I'm going to make a video about what food forests are and the experiences we've had with our first and second food forest. Our second food forest, which is done unconventionally, has great promise thus far. Okay, we're out here at the sugar shack. You'll see some wood in here now. We're going to head into the sugar shack, which is still under construction, like many of the things that I do. Takes me a long time. I'm a one-man army. So I'm going down below in the root cellar. So we're with the aspects of the important components of permaculture. Each element each structure is responsible for multiple functions. Now we're going through our buckets of our seeds down here. Quite a few seeds. We got several years worth of seeds that we're rotating, and here's some of our blue potatoes loaded with anthocyanins. And those buckets have some of our root cellar carrots down in here. So they still have some of the soil on them. So they have the microorganisms still on them, which are really beneficial. And they're just stored in very slightly moist wood shavings. And we keep the tops open a little bit. Here I was thinking, what am I going to seal this off? More carrots in here. And then we've got 2 rows of shelves in here, and we'll take a peek. So most of them are in the cases, the new ball cases that they send products in now. I really like these better than the green ones. So here, these are dehydrated eggplants. I gotta say, I'm really a huge fan of dehydration. We do lots of dehydration. It takes up so little space compared to typical canning. You're probably using 20 to 25% of the space, so things really compact down nicely. These are more eggplants in here, and not sure the video went a little bit off there. Hopefully that'll come out all right. What do we have down here? I think this is just tomato paste. So I got tomato paste down here made this year. And here's our Bastan peppers, which are a mild hot pepper. We left the seeds right in with those. Those are great. And we got banana peppers in this case. Down here, I think we got jams. Is that right? Oh, this is apple butter. So we got a few cases of apple butter. We had the roasters going. We have 2 roasters going for a few days, doing all our apple butter. These are raisins, so we end up buying the raisins. We buy them in bulk, and then dry can them and put them down here in the root cellar. We just come out and get them as we need them. We use them in a lot of our cooking, a lot of the products that we make for our meals and desserts. What do we have here? These are vegetable soups. We make a few different types of vegetable soups, but everything comes from our gardens, with the exception of sometimes we put lentils in some of the soups. We aren't growing lentils. And then we're getting down into various jams and in here. And we don't do jellies. We want all those phytonutrients, so we do all jams. Those are all peaches from the gardens. Peaches and various jams, I think. And I'm not even going to bother trying to open up some of these cases. But you get an idea of, I think we're getting in, so that's dehydrated cabbage here. Lots of dehydrated cabbage there. More soups, I think. Quite a few soups. So I'm always thinking about, geez, what can we store in reduced volumes? So and there's some chilies, various chilies in these areas. What can we have ready-made meals when we need them? So if times get tough, and then can we have all of the materials that are reduced in size that we can make more and more meals that can really expand over time if needed? So there's sort of a picture of where we are. The walls have still got to be put up down here for shelving all the way around, and we'll be doing that with doing it by season, so we know what we've got. Okay, that was a tour of our food storage systems that we're using so far. I appreciate you taking the time to watch the video. Please give us a thumbs up, like the video if you think it was of value, share it with your friends. You never know, they might be looking forward to doing some food storage and becoming more resilient in their lives, and feel free to share it on Facebook or any other media, the social media platform that you like to use. And please feel free to leave a comment, ask questions. I think comments, especially with those people who are also using other techniques for food storage, especially in different parts of the country, I think that's fascinating. And if there's folks out there that have had stories, we have had our stories with ice storms that were without power for over a week, and that really made me change our whole focus years ago and ultimately get us to the point where we're at today. So sharing your experiences in the comments below, I think, would be wonderful. Well, thanks so much, folks, and have a fantastic day. Bye-bye now.